Okay, welcome back. So for our second panel discussion, there will be another 6 presenters. The first presenter is Mr. Thomas Wahyu Prabowo Mukti from Sanata Dharma, Indonesia. And the second presenter is SEO Andre Moniz, SJ from Timor-Leste, Instituto São João de Brito. And the next presenter will be Father Moritz Coleman from the Beijing Center. The next presenter would be Ms. Yuki Maeda and colleagues from Elizabeth University of Music, Japan. The next presenter would be Mrs. Doris Montecastro from Ateneo de Davao, the Philippines. And then we have Mr. Robin Atilano de los Reyes from Ateneo de Zamboanga, the Philippines. And we also have Mr. Michael Lien from Myanmar Leadership Institute in Yangon, Myanmar. We will start with the first presentation from Mr. Thomas Wahyu Prabowo Mukti. The screen is yours.
Well, thank you so much, Bu Mita. Hello everyone, good afternoon and maybe good evening everyone. My name is Thomas and I would like to represent my university, and hopefully what I shared here, the story that I shared here could represent my university and what happens in my university right now. So it will be like this one. This is the brief picture of what I would like to share, but of course I will make it into specific one, into details one. So we will start from the beginning, of course, from the lockdown. After the lockdown, we had lockdown as well, and all lecturers and students at the time use any means they know, from WhatsApp group and then Telegram group, Google Meet, and then Zoom, although at the time Zoom was not that popular in Indonesia, and then also Teams, and we use whatever we had to make sure that the learning could still continue at the time. But of course, we felt overwhelmed, nervous, tired because a lot of things, and we didn't know a lot of things and what we should do. Thankfully, we tried to use LMS and also Zoom, although at the time it was not widely used because our university at that time focused more on the face-to-face interaction, so LMS was limitedly used in this case. And thankfully as well, we had a new guideline from university thanks to the Center for Learning and Development and Innovation, or PPIP, in our university, and it covers both the paradigmatic, managerial, and also technical level, and focuses especially on the design and procedure of the learning in the class. So this is the guideline in 2020. Although we had the guidelines, we still had a lot of problems, especially at the time our LMS server. It was down because it was not ready to be used for a lot of users at the same time. After waiting for maybe 6 months, finally we got new server, and finally it could help all of us to use the LMS. And to accompany the new server, PPIP, once again, the Innovation Center had workshop for LMS and also Zoom, both for the lecturers and also the staffs. And also, until now, we still had the clinic for both lecturers and also students who got problems with our LMS, to make sure that the teaching and learning process runs smoothly, both using the Zoom and also the LMS. During that time, we realized that we still try to adapt the way we teach, the way we interact with each other and with the students, as well as students, and also the way we communicate what we want to say, what we want to teach. And thankfully, we could learn a lot of things during this period. And this is the poster at that time. We had the pelatihan LMS or the workshop for the LMS for the lecturers at the time. And until now, this is our LMS, and you can still contact the team, as well as you can still read the guidelines, find out the tutorials for the teachers or lecturers, and also the students. So we still support them until now. And this is how our LMS looks like. So it is not just LMS and then we put materials, tasks there, but the design should cover things that make students interested in learning. So we had pictures, we had the instruction that engage the students to learn, to want to know more about what they are going to learn. And finally, nowadays we got PPKM, or in English it is called Community Activities Restriction Enforcement. In Yogyakarta right now it is level 4, which means it is the highest. But at the same time, the government also asked us to have the face-to-face class. So starting from this semester, we have hybrid classes, but we keep in mind that the students could only fill 50% of the total class capacity. Well, it is indeed actually in accordance to our university strategic plan in 2022. We had the hybrid classes. COVID-19 indeed forced us to make it faster, the adaptation, and thankfully so far we could do it well, although we still have some, of course, struggles and also problems that we need to cope. And of course, we also try to adapt with the new things, especially we try to use the OBE for our curriculum. And here are what happens in Yogyakarta right now. Like what I said, the government asked us to give the option for the students to have face-to-face classes, and this is what happened in Sanata Dharma. We had the hybrid learning. This is what we had, so we could still facilitate those who come on site in the classroom, and also those who join Zoom. So both the students in the class and also in the Zoom could still see the lecturers, as well as the students in the classroom could still see those who are in the Zoom meeting. So they can still interact, although it is not a direct one, but later I will share how they could interact. This is what I would like to share. So we still accommodate those who cannot join on site. So we still have a Zoom meeting, another Zoom meeting for those who cannot join. So for those who can join in the classroom, they created a new room and then they discuss in the class, and they still keep the health protocol because it's very important. Like what I said, we still had some struggles, and also we do some efforts to grow during the pandemic, especially related to the internet connection. As you know, Indonesia is a very fast country, and the internet connection is very different from one part to another. So we cannot always force students to join the Zoom meeting, as well as asking them to turn on their camera. And it leads to another problem, which is the engagement. Sometimes the lecturers feel that they are alone because all they can see are students' names or maybe profile pictures, but they cannot see students' expressions, whether they agree or disagree, whether they are happy or not. Thankfully, when we asked them to join the breakout rooms, most students could turn on their camera. Maybe they feel more comfortable with their friends instead of with the lecturers there. So we try to accommodate these needs as well. And also, because it is a very new technology for us, this one, for some lecturers, we still had some problems because the voice, especially heard by those who join the Zoom meeting, is not that clear for those who join the on-site classroom, they do hear us clearly. But those who join the Zoom, they might have some problems listening to what we try to explain or what we try to instruct. So we need to use a lot of things. Maybe we can use our phone. We had a new microphone installed in our laptop or computer. A lot of things that we had done so far. And of course, COVID-19 transmission. So far, what I experienced, some of my students got infected by the COVID-19, and it means some of the class should move back to the online class again. Even I got infected last week. So now, thankfully, I'm already negative, but it means that the classes that should be hybrid turns to be online again. Thankfully, during this time also, we could encourage our students to join the government program called Kampus Merdeka or Independent Campus. I don't know whether the translation is near to what the government would like to say, but that's what we had. And at the same time, our university could hold the mass vaccination, both for the staffs and also for the people around the campus. And thankfully, to this booster, I didn't get bad effect of the COVID-19. I didn't really feel that bad, but yes, of course, I still felt some problems, but it is not that bad. And because of this pandemic, we could actually realize that there is no real border between us. So the collaboration is very possible here. We could have student and also lecturer exchange, maybe for 1 or 2 classes, and also have kind of festival that like what we have done this year. And then we had joint research as well as community service and online society for the online society. So we could focus on the online society because we normally focus on the offline one, but nowadays we know we had the online society that needs to be treated equally. And of course, like what we had done so far, we could have best practices sharing, and this is what we had done. So we have the kind of festival, and then we got chance to send our lecturers to online learning, and also some students as well to online programs. We had the seminar, of course, the webinar for people here for free, as well as the competition. We can hold those things in this pandemic situation. And the last thing that I would like to share is actually based on what happens nowadays. We need to somehow alter our current education paradigm, but still keep the good practices, and on the same time keep reflecting whether those good practices are actually really good or we need to change it, because as we know, the world needs something different compared to what we need 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago. And especially we need to accommodate our students' interests, and that later on will be beneficial for them in the future. And lastly, I would like to say that we could not expect the smooth transition between what happens nowadays to the future, but I believe we will keep moving forward. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much, Bumita.
Thank you very much, Pak Thomas. Let's give Pak Thomas a virtual applause. Thank you.